At 45 years old, John's life was over. At least, that's what he thought. He had no job, no family, no hope. Friends stopped calling. The world moved on without him. But what John didn't know was that his lowest moment would become the start of something greater than he ever imagined. Not long ago, John had everything: a stable career, a wife, 2 kids, a house in the suburbs. But life can change in an instant. A failed business deal, a divorce, the bills piling up. Suddenly, the man who once provided for everyone was left with nothing. Nights were long, days felt meaningless. He would stare at the ceiling and whisper to himself, "Is this it? Is this how my story ends?" Then one morning, John looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back. Tired eyes, shoulders heavy with regret. And for the first time, he admitted the truth. No one was coming to save him. He had 2 choices: give up or fight back. That day, he made a promise. A promise to himself. "I don't know how, I don't know when, but I will rise again." The first steps were brutal. He could barely jog 1 block without losing his breath. He applied for jobs, rejection after rejection. He read books, but half the time the words didn't stick. Yet every single morning, John showed up. 1 mile became 2, 1 book became 10. 1 day of rejection became the fuel for the next application. Slowly, painfully, momentum began to build. Of course, not everyone believed in him. Old friends called him crazy. Family said he was wasting his time. And in his darkest moments, John almost believed them. But deep down, a small voice whispered, "Keep going. You're not done yet." So he did. Day after day, step after step. He kept building when no one was watching. Then something happened. The rejections turned into interviews. The interviews turned into offers. His body grew stronger, his mind sharper. John started meeting new people, people who lifted him higher instead of pulling him down. For the first time in years, he felt alive again. Not because life magically became easy, but because he refused to quit. 3 years later, the man who once sat alone in the dark stood on a stage sharing his story. People listened. People were inspired. The same man who thought his life was over at 45 was now helping others rebuild theirs. John didn't just change his life. He proved that failure is not the end. It's the beginning of a second chance. Maybe you feel stuck right now. Maybe you failed or lost or given up. Remember this. You are not too old. It is not too late. Your story is still being written, and the next chapter could be the best one.